Alright, so we have the Wight, a medium undead with 14 AC, 68 hit dice, and a constitution bonus of 16. Don't care about those two items, and it should be a CR3. So that's our base information out of the way from here on the Wight section. So let's move into the skills area, where we have a couple skills. Those don't matter. We have damage resistances of necrotic, bludgeoning, piercing, and slashing from the typical stuff that needs to be silvered, which is pretty handy earlier on in the game. So we'll throw the resistances on to give it 2 times the hit points. And then we have some damage immunities to poison, but because it's only one condition and it's such a low CR, we don't really worry about that, because if we switch it to immunities, we still have 2 times the hit points. So then we move down into monster traits since our skills are all done, and we only have sunlight sensitivity, and which is always surprising to me, anything that is a detriment to the monster doesn't really calculate into the CR. And because of that, sunlight sensitivity has no effect on the Wight. So we can skip over that and move right into the action sections for the Wight here to see what we're dealing with. Alright, so moving over to the combat workspace, we have a plus to hit of 4, which isn't all that high, but it is a low CR monster of only 3. And we have, let's see here, multi-attack of 2 longsword attacks or 2 longbow attacks. It can use its life drain in place of one of the longsword attacks, so that's handy. And let's see here. We have the life drain, which will deal 5 necrotic damage. The target must succeed a con save, or its hit point max is reduced by an amount equal to damage taken. This reduction lasts until they finish a long rest. We have some effective damage going on here as well, and it's going to be equal. So I'm going to suggest that the life drain is actually doing double damage here, because it's doing 5.5 damage, but because of the hit point maximum going down as well, it's also reducing the player's hit points by that much as well. So technically, life drain is going to be dealing 11 damage, 5.5 being actual damage, and the other 5.5 being effective damage, which will have to be healed later on. Then we also have the longsword, which, because our Wight is only using studded leather armor, we can swing the longsword two-handed, and we'll use the 1 point more of damage here. So we have 7.5 damage for the longsword, and then we also have the longbow, which will deal 6.5 damage. So now that we have all of our actions taken care of, let's take a look and figure out what would be the most optimum amount of damage we can do here. It would actually be 1 longsword swing and a life drain because of the effective damage that is being dealt to the players or targets. So I would suggest we do 11 from attack 1 being the life drain, and also 7.5 on the average for the longsword. And we get an average of 18.5, and then when we go down into the rounds of combat, we simply just take that and to make it 18, that way if I need to switch anything we don't have to worry about it. Multiply it by 3 and we get an 18. So surprisingly enough, right now we're looking at a CR2 for a Wight, and this makes a lot of sense because especially when I used it against my players, there wasn't really much that they needed to do in order to defeat the Wight. So what can we do to make the Wight a little more dangerous? Then we might say, let's adjust it and add in some more AC and maybe some more, make it easier to hit with. So that could be a quick way to fix that. If we wanted to keep the Wight evenly balanced, making it a versatile monster, one of the things we could do right off the bat is, since we're already looking for AC 13, we could move it up from studded leather armor to whatever would give 15 AC. Let's say we give the Wight 15 AC instead. Well, now we're hitting CR3, but our OCR is still a little on the low side. So let's say we want to make this Wight do a little bit, make it hit a little easier. So let's increase the attack bonus from 4 to 5. So if we were to, just for the sake of it, increase the strength to, 16 and give it a +3, that will increase the damage ever so slightly on both attacks. So instead of 11, we would be seeing the life drain go up to 13, and then the longsword attack would increase to 8.5, which is then bringing up the damage to the CR3, while the DCR base is at a 2, but because of the AC bonus, it brings it up to a 3. And then on top of that, our attack bonus would also increase to a 5. And we have ourselves a CR3,